You have reached the Geek Elite. Good luck.
What if you found a portal to a parallel universe? What if you could slide into 1,000 different worlds? Where it's the same year, and you're the same person, but everything else is different. And what if you can't find your way home?
Welcome back for another issue of Imagine If. This week we are talking about Marvel TV series or movies. That's right. We will get into the spinner rack, what is new for comic books on Tuesday and Wednesday, new comic book days. We will talk a little bit about WandaVision episode 4, We Interrupt Your Program. We will then check out all the people of our social media that had input on what they want to see from Marvel in a TV show or movie. And then Chris and I will go ahead and talk about the characters we want to see on the screen. So, with all that being said, Chris, what is up there for New Comic Book Day?
Okay, so jumping headfirst into it, this Tuesday, wow, it's February already. That's crazy. But DC Comics will lead the charge Tuesday at your local comic shop. Let's see. What do we got? We have The Dreaming, Waking Hours number 7. So I'm sure this series is definitely, it's got a great fan base, but with more talk of television happening for Sandman and The Dreaming and all that group, I'm sure people are really going to be flocking to check it out. Far Sector number 10 is out. So we are getting close to the conclusion of Joe Williamson, if I remember her name correctly. So one of the new Green Lanterns. She's really going to start making an impact on the main DC universe. So definitely start expecting to see more of her outside this DC Black Label book. It is Future State, of course, taking the main control. So we are seeing those beautiful Dan Mora redesigned second prints coming out at us. So we will have Future State Dark Detective number 1, Harley Quinn number 1, both getting those beautiful character design treatments by Dan Mora. I just got to say, though, I really love that Batman one. I think the costume that he's created is pretty cool looking. So I enjoy that one.
Very much so, yeah.
Let's see. To keep it moving forward, Future State Harley Quinn number 2 will be out. So that should be the conclusion to what's going to potentially maybe kind of sort of happen. Harley Quinn in a maybe sort of kind of future. Maybe. Future State Superman of Metropolis number 2 will be out. And this one will continue the adventures of Jonathan Kent, the Guardian, and Mr. Miracle. Now, again, I do laugh because when they say Superman, they're very specific to list Jonathan or Clark Kent on those names. But when it comes to the Guardian and Mr. Miracle, they didn't. So like I said, I have a theory that Mr. Miracle is probably going to be Shiloh Norman. The Guardian, I haven't checked, so I'm not too sure which Guardian they'll be focusing on there. Oops, I missed one. Sorry. Future State Swamp Thing number 1 will also be getting a second print cover. This is the character designs by Mike Perkins, which is just in time for future. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, is that supposed to be the Swamp Thing that we know of right now, or is it someone new as Swamp Thing? Well, I guess you can't say that because Swamp Thing is a entity that thinks it's a certain person, not that it's a person thinking that it's an entity. You know, what's the name of the character that the doctor that Swamp Thing thinks he is?
Oh my God, I should know this. I cannot think of his name, but yeah, I know what you're saying. Like the first appearance, it was a man who turned into a Swamp Thing. That was by Len Wein. And then Alan Moore comes along and he's like, I'm going to do it even better. This is going to be a butterfly thinking it's a man. So yeah, that changed up everything. Who knows what is real? And it was interesting because I think when they brought Swamp Thing back into the DC universe, they definitely changed up his his like origins a little bit. So like they mixed in both the idea by Len Wein and also Alan Moore. So let's see, I'm cheating here. Alec Holland.
That's
There we
right,
go.
Alec Holland. Yeah.
Typical secret identity. But even as I'm looking at his wiki page, oh my god, he's Alexander Alex Olsen, Alec Holland, Albert Horer, Teffe Holland, Alan Hallman, Aaron Haley, and Calabrath A.H. Rogers. So who knows? Maybe let's toss another one in there. You never know.
Yeah, it could be
Wow.
the future state of Swamp Thing is that he's taken on a new person's identity and memories as opposed to just Dr. Alec Holland.
Yeah. No, honestly, that could be something. So yeah, maybe we've got another Swamp Thing. Swamp of swamp more things. I don't know. I'll come with something.
Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing. Whoa. That's definitely a Black Label book. But yeah, so Future State Swamp Thing #2 will be out. So that'll conclude his potential maybes. Future State The Flash #2 will be out. This is actually one I am very excited to read. I was lucky enough to read the part 1 early, and I was blown away by it. And I feel for Wally West fans. Like, they are going through the Hal Jordan days, and I feel so bad for him. But I think there is light at the end of the tunnel. I have good, strong feelings for it. So I'm definitely excited to see how evil Wally plays out in this maybe future. So we'll see. Future State, the next Batman, issues 1 and 2 will be getting second printings. #1 will feature Nick Darrington concept art. He did a great job of keeping the classic elements of the Batsuit, but adding new things for it as well. And then the second one will be the Laura Braga design, which features the secret identity of Tim Fox as your Batman. And this is all perfect because if you missed any of it and you want to jump in, issue 3 will be released as well. So you could potentially get Future State Batman 1, 2, and 3. And I do have to say that cover B variant by Art Germ is just beautiful. That guy just draws amazing character portraits. Like if I don't know if you ever got into that when it was big when we were younger, like the trading card phase.
Mm-hmm.
So like Marvel masterpieces and stuff like that. God, I wish he could do the trading cards for both universes. Like, it's just beautiful, his art. So anyways, yeah. Future State Wonder Woman #1 will get a second printing by Joelle Jones with the character redesign there featuring Yara Flores, and which is perfectly timed for Future State Wonder Woman #2 to be out as well. Mainstream books will be out as well. So we have Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey #4. And actually, I guess I shouldn't say that. Well, I don't know. I think it's main DC Comics, but it's definitely going to have some influence from the movie, I'd say. So
yeah,
that'll be very interesting. But it gives us Amanda Conner and Jimmy Palmiotti to come back to the fun times that they had featuring both the Birds of Prey and Harley Quinn. So I'm very excited to see what they do. Hopefully it's a good time. Hellblazer Rise and Fall #3 will be out by Tom Taylor and Company. Man-Bat will begin. So this is a brand new comic. How it's featured in the DC Omniverse or DC Comics publication will be very interesting. Where does it take place? How does it begin? Is it even Kurt Langstrom? Who knows? So that'll definitely be something to watch. If you have a lot of money that you wish to spend, Blackest Night, Brightest Day. They are actually making a huge box set. So this thing is clocking in at roughly $300.
Wow.
But you will get everything. Sadly, you will have a pain in the ass to read it, though. They did. Like, I wish if they were going to do this, like, why not put it in publication order instead of rehashing the hardcover trade paperback order. But anyways, so they're going to create a book called The Blackest Night Prelude, which will feature Green Lantern issues 26 through 28 and Final Crisis Rage of the Red Lanterns. So that will be exactly that. Or no, I'm sorry. I think 26 through 28. Oh gosh. That's like the space in between. So I think that's the Alpha Lanterns. Then 36 through 43 and the Final Crisis Rage. That'll feature the Rage or the Red Lanterns, and then Hal kind of weaving through the emotional spectrum. So we discover the Red Lanterns, the Blue Lanterns, Larfleeze, and then by that point we get a hint of who the Indigos are. Then they'll create a Blackest Night book, which will feature Blackest Night 0 through 8 and the Untold Tales. Blackest Night Green Lantern, which will be 44 through 52 of the main series. And those issues interweave in between Blackest Night. So that's where you're going to have a pain in the neck reading it, because like it's almost like when people take the Bible and they put those little colorful tabs. Like I feel like that's what you're gonna have to do with this. Like you're gonna be like, okay, follow this reading order because you're gonna swim through it. But anyway, so Green Lantern Corps, it's just gonna feature everything, all the tie-in books, all the Blackest Night bonuses, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, JSA, and Titans, the rise of the Black Lantern books, which brought back the Atom and Hawkman, Phantom Stranger, Green Arrow, Adventure Comics, Starman, The Question, Catwoman, Weird Western Tales, and Power of Shazam. So it brought back those canceled series for one extra tale. You'll get the Superboy Prime books that were in there, the Blackest Night Tales of the Lantern Corps, Secret Files galore. And then it'll also lead into Brightest Day, which we were just talking about. Swamp Thing concludes with discovering Swamp Thing is part of the DC universe. This is the part I want, which I wish they could release, the Book of the Black. So it's going to collect sketch material that will have some new information inside there. So some new sketches, series proposal, variants, and all kinds of extra little stuff there. So that's kind of cool. And to top it off, you get all 9 rings of the emotional spectrum. So yes, you will get those plastic, chunky, ugly little things that if you choose to wear them on your hand, you're more than welcome to. But I will warn you this, early reports did say there was a error in the box. So I don't know. I think I'd probably sit it out and wait for a second printing or a fixed version. Or if you do buy yours, don't save it as a gift to give to later. Open it now and make sure everything looks good.
Wow.
Yeah, DC's greatest detective stories ever told. So we will get some detective adventures. So if you want to tickle that part of your brain, definitely check it out. Flash Facts will be out, and this features, I can never say her name, but Dr. Mayim Bialik, who know her from Blossom.
Yeah, Blossom and Big Bang Theory. Mayim.
Oh yeah, that show.
Bialik.
Okay, Bialik, yes. So she's going to have a fun time going through the DC universe, exploring comic book science. So please don't take it for real. It's just comic book science. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so that could be a fun little thing. The Flash Omnibus will be out, Volume 2 by Jeff Johns, featuring the second half of his run. If you want to get some more animated adventures of the Justice League, Justice League Unlimited Hocus Pocus will be out, featuring Tales of the Mystical, starring Alan Scott, Zatanna, Phantom Stranger. Then we also have the Legion of Superheroes Before the Darkness. So I think they're trying to cash in on the idea of the Great Darkness saga, which was like one of the best dark side stories ever. I haven't read this thing. I need to. But anyway, so I think they're going to expand on that by trying to do some of the issues leading up to it. Manhunter, we were just talking about him last episode in the Golden Age. So Paul Kirk will be featured here on his adventures by the late great Archie Goodwin and master artist Walter Simonson. So if you want to definitely check out some of those amazing adventures, go there.
So wait,
and then Superman.
That's collecting old stories.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, because we were talking about Paul Kirk in last week for the Golden Age, and I remember the clone version of him, Kirk DePaul, on what was the name of that book? The Power Company, I think.
I think so. Yes.
Yeah, where there was many clones of Paul Kirk. This one was called Kirk DePaul. Then there's also the most recent Manhunter, the lawyer, and I'm spacing on her name at the moment, but
oh my God, I know I've been thinking her name all week long, and now I can't picture. But yes, she was the daughter of Golden Age superheroes as well. Yeah.
And then you have the Green Lantern Manhunters, which I would say they kind of have something to do with the Paul Kirk because they have the same like color scheme.
Yeah, that costume design. Yeah, right.
And then Golden Age like implies that Paul Kirk's Manhunter name is being, legacied onto Martian Manhunter, John Jones. So the legacy of the name Manhunter in the DC universe is pretty awesome if you think about it.
Yeah, no, it definitely gets a lot of play. So it's interesting to see, yeah. So I mean, this is definitely something to check out because the character Paul Kirk is, the first, and he's been interpreted many different ways. And then, as you just listed, the mantle has been interpreted many different ways as well. So yeah, this will just be wild to see. And even then, again, these are stories from the 70s. So they're not the original ones, but this will definitely be some of the stuff that kind of was like, hey, because this is the era where they took him out of the Green Lantern Manhunter costume, that red and blue thing, and they put him in that wild shoulder padded dangling arm costume.
Thing, yeah.
Which does not seem like a good costume to wear if you're going to be a manhunter.
Yeah.
But,
so
yeah,
I would say that Tom King, if he wants, after Strange Adventures, the next thing that he should do is tackle that legacy with all those characters. Because I mean, it's a spy. Manhunter's a spy. Like if at the you boil it down to, and we all know that he knows about that, a story too about that, right?
Yeah, no, that could definitely there's you're right. If there's a character to play with deconstructing with spy elements, that is definitely a name to go for. And it would be quite the task to not only just talk about Paul Kirk, but relate it all into everyone else. So yeah, that'd be something else.
Why is it that this one character, Manhunter, that most people hadn't heard of, has touched and, been involved in so many more aspects of DC history? And I think that'd be a pretty good story. Maybe Tom King doesn't tackle it. Maybe you and I do. Maybe that's our break-in story.
Yep. Manhunted. How did it happen? There you go. So yeah, if you want to get it on the Secrets of the Manhunter, definitely check that one out. I think this is kind of neat. Superman in the 50s is getting a reprinting. So I enjoyed these. I always thought these were great trades. So basically what they would do is they would be like, here's the best of Superman in a specific decade. And so in this one, I believe everything will be featured as it was. But we're also going to get an introduction by Mark Waid. So if you want to talk about fans of Superman, that's definitely one of the guys there. But in this trade, you're going to get some great stuff. You're going to have the first appearances of Supergirl, Krypto, Titano, the Super 8, Superboy's last days in Smallville, and probably a couple of Imaginary Tales, which is partly responsible for one of the greatest podcasts in the known multiverse. That's right, us. So definitely check it out. These are fun. Maybe they count, maybe they don't. We'll find out in a couple of months, but they're definitely pleasurable and fun times. So that's going to be from your DC comic books. And just to kind of march along, go ahead.
Just to come back to it real quick, it's Kate Spencer, the female Manhunter from the DC universe.
Yep. There we go. That's right. Kate Spencer. I forgot. Now my brain is trying to remember who she's related to.
Iron Monroe.
JSA, but Iron Monroe. Okay, there we go. Yeah. All right. There's the mystery solved. Mitch the Manhunter did it. All right. Let's see. Continue in the spinner rack. You'll have to return to your local comic shop on Wednesday if you want to get those marvelous books from their competitors. So definitely check out. This is a fun one. Amazing Spider-Man number 101 will be getting a facsimile edition. This one's fun. Why? Because Roy Thomas and Gil Kane are at their prime. And Gil Kane is one of my favorite artists because he's the co-creator of Hal Jordan, so that automatically puts in there. But his art style is just beautiful. Like, buy this book because it's a master study in great comic book layout, physique design, and just pure action. And not only are you going to get all that, but you're also going to get a reprinting of the first appearance of Morbius. So somewhere in the multiverse, people have already watched that movie and decided if they liked it or not. We have not had that chance. So, but definitely check that out. It could be a lot of fun. Amazing Spider-Man Volume 5, Issue 55 is getting a second printing. Okay, so let's go back in time. I think it was Spider-Man #1 by Todd McFarlane, right? Where he did that classic Spider-Man kind of sitting in a nest of webs, right? And that became the standard cover for everybody to like redraw and redo. And then several years later, when the other happened, and they had that Mike Winnegrow pose of Spider-Man coming at you, same thing, they redrew it. This cover, I think, is going to be the next version of that, because you have the original printing, which I think was blue with the red or something like that, but now we're getting in second printings and incentive second printings of this thing. So people just love the idea of a bare bones bust portfolio style of Spider-Man in pure webbing. So yeah, definitely pick those up, but don't get addicted, because it's going to be very pricey to buy some of those covers. If you love toys and you don't mind throwing away money, Avengers Mech Strike will be out. Basically, the Avengers need mechs, because being super heroic is not enough. They need these giant battle armors to wear. So if you want to just have some pure fun imagination, definitely pick it up. I think I'm probably going to guess we're going to be seeing some of these toys from Hasbro coming up pretty soon. Avengers issue 42 will be out, so we're going to be closer to finding out who will be the next Phoenix in the Marvel Universe. And if you're still collecting the Alex Ross Timeless covers, issue 42 will also feature Hawkeye. So if you want to add that to your collection, that is definitely the way to go.
So do you have any bets on who's going to be the next Phoenix? Do you have any
I think it's going to be a brand new character.
That makes the most sense. Like, don't give it to a character that already exists. Make a brand new character. But if you could give it to a second tier character, a Z-list character, like, who would you give it to?
Oh man, well, this may sound goofy, but I'd give it back to Rachel. I think she was at her best as the Phoenix. She controlled the Phoenix for the longest time. Like, for some reason, Marvel writers just forgot. So I would definitely say give it to her, give it to Rachel. But if not, like, let's say, okay, we're getting it out of the X offices, put it somewhere, then I guess maybe, that would be tough. But I almost feel like maybe the Spider Woman, but the redheaded one, I cannot think of her secret identity. But yeah, Julia Carpenter. I'd say give it to her, because with her being the Madam Web, I think that could be an interest for the Phoenix to be like, oh, you're powerful, but you also have visions of the multiverse. So maybe that would be an attraction. And, kind of what they said with the Phoenix, it burns away the things that doesn't work. Maybe that kind of, helps give vision to the Phoenix to understand what should and should not work. So that'd be how I'd pitch it. What about you?
Oh, D-Man.
D-Man. We're having technical difficulties, folks. I don't know what's going on with Mitch. He's now in a bad state. D-Man, so now we're going to call him P-Man? No. All right. Why D-Man?
No, I'm just joking. I this is the first nonsense character that came to my mind. If I could give it to one Z-list character, I mean, maybe not Z-list, but definitely a character that has been thrown around a lot. Rick Jones, he's been involved in just about everybody's story. He's had powers and not had powers, so why not give him the power of the Phoenix?
I like it, and it gives him something to do, because I don't think he's being used right now. Nobody knows what to do with the poor guy. So
is he not?
That. That's.
Is he not A-bomb anymore? No, he wasn't A-bomb for a while, right? Didn't he become a hacker guy?
Yeah, that's right. During that evil Captain America story, he was a hacker, and God, I don't know if Cap killed him or not. Maybe he did. I forget.
I think he did.
But yeah. Yeah, so maybe Rick Jones is dead. That's even worse. So there you go. Now he's died. Perfect reason for him to be resurrected as the Phoenix.
There you go.
Marvel was interested in us, and now they're like, nope.
I totally ruined it.
But then 2 weeks from now, we'll see Dead Man or D-Man Resurrection. All right, well, let's see. We've got continuing the spinner rack. Hellions #9 will be out. This is a very intriguing cover because could Mastermind be coming back? I know we've had Lady Mastermind be part of the new House of X Krakoa Paradise Island. And if they're resurrecting mutants, why doesn't Mastermind get a chance to come back? So this will be very interesting to see what happens there. Immortal Hulk marches along at issue 43, continuing just amazing comics as they were. King in Black will feature a black.
I just wanted to say with Hulk, sorry to cut you off, but over on Journey into Mystery, the last 2 weeks, we have watched the first 2 pilot movies for the 1977 Incredible Hulk TV series. Both
nice.
Like what we're doing is watching movies that are part of the Marvel universe that are not in the MCU, and technically the first 4 episodes of the 1977 TV series were 2 2-hour movies. And I've never actually watched any of the Bill Bixby, Lou Ferrigno movie or TV series before. And those first 2, if that has any indication about what the rest of the series is, it's not bad. I actually enjoyed watching it. I mean, the second movie, Return of the Incredible Hulk, or also known as Death in the Family, that has the infamous Lou Ferrigno as the Hulk fighting a bear, and he yeets the bear across the river. But other than that, it's not bad. The only thing is that you don't really get a very strong Hulk. Like, the Hulk in this is Lou Ferrigno's strength. So, like, you get to see him do Lou Ferrigno things other than yeet a bear across the river. Most of the stuff is just kind of like strongman stuff. So it's interesting to watch.
Oh, it really is. God, when I was younger, I think maybe it was the Sci-Fi Network. When they first launched, obviously they didn't have a lot of programming, and so it was reruns of stuff. And I was very happy because they were rerunning the 90s Flash TV show. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. And then they would rerun the Incredible Hulk show as well. And I loved the show because, again, Bill Bixby, hell of a dude. Like, his story is just insane what happened to the man in his personal life. Like, they keep talk of a movie, like they're like, oh, we need to do a biopic. And I'm going to throw something at you. I think Hugh Jackman would be perfect to play Bill Bixby. I think they kind of look similar. So I'd love to see, Hugh Jackman play the part, and plus it'd be kind of a little bit of a nod to having Wolverine play the Hulk. That'd be interesting as well. Just the intensity that both men brought to the character of, Dr. Robert Banner. Because that's where we get that name change.
It was David Banner.
It was. Oh, that's right, David Banner. Yeah. God, he had multiple names then. He was Bruce Robert David Banner. But anyways, it was just very much amazing stuff. And they had to do it with practical effects and grounding, like they really had to ground this in. Like, that movie is why when you watch the Eric Bana, spoilers for you guys, but when you watch the Eric Bana Hulk film, that's where they got that origin from. So it's not Bruce Banner being in an explosion. It's him working on a lab in his own, science. So that definitely changed up stuff. But yeah, just like, I know it gets a lot of guff and stuff like that, but the character study behind it is just amazing. We get that fantastic Lonely Man piano theme.
Yeah.
So just like, it's fun. I'd recommend continuing it just because, it's going to be good stuff. So that's awesome. I'm glad to hear you guys enjoyed that.
Technically, we have 3 more Incredible Hulk movies based or spin-off from the TV show coming at some point in the year. We have Trial of the Incredible Hulk, Death of the Incredible
first Daredevil.
Hulk. Okay. Yep. Death of the Incredible Hulk, and then the Incredible Hulk Returns. Or it's one of I don't know if that's the exact order that they'll go in, but they are 3 more on the list.
Yep. Yeah. So you're gonna be treated to some stuff, and I think Trial of the Incredible Hulk. I think that might be the first Stan Lee cameo. I think I could be wrong, but I think that's the very first Stan Lee cameo. So
Good to know.
yeah, that one. Maybe you need to call your local friend without fear to come watch that one. Just hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
All right. We'll get you in there.
All right. Okay. So spinning along those. Well, speaking of crossovers, King in Black is happening in the Marvel Universe right now. I'm really enjoying it. I was surprised. So right now I'm reading King in Black and Venom. I've been real selective because there is a bunch of tie-in books. But Black Knight is going to be featured very heavily very soon when the Eternals movie launches. So this might be an interesting book to pick out. So Black Knight one shot tying into the King in Black will be happening. There's several different variant covers to definitely check out, so go for it. King in Black continues on with Gwenom versus Carnage. So if you want to see a different universe symbiote collide with our universe symbiotes, this could be interesting. So definitely some wild stuff there. Marauders will cross over into the King in Black. So that's how big this event is, that the X-Men will actually be tying into it in some way. So Jerry Duggan will bring his happy band of pirate X-Men to come check this out and see what's going on. The Return of the Valkyries #2 will be there. So this is the book where we will get to see the Sentry be ushered into maybe his final fate, or maybe they'll help him escape, and that way he can return. So that'll be very interesting to see what's going on there. Legend of Shang-Chi one-shot will be out. So again, another major Marvel character that'll be getting a lot of hype very soon. Definitely playing there. Runaways issue 33 will be out. There are quite a few Star Wars books. Venom issue 33 will be out, and this will be the main tie-in book to King in Black. So Donny Cates is going to be slipping some secrets in, so we'll be seeing what happens there, especially considering Eddie Brock is... Spoilers, I'm not going to tell you. Go read it. Warhammer 4000 Marnenius Calgar is happening. So the Warhammer being published by Marvel did really well to spin off this extra book. So that's pretty wild there. X Factor issue 7 will be out. And then we'll have some trade collections. So Avengers by Jonathan Hickman, complete collection, volume 3. So that was where he did a lot of his world building crazy ideas. So that could be a good place to hunt for X-Men Easter eggs and ideas. Dawn of X volume 12 will be out. So that will continue the current state of the X-Men in their House of X post world. Eternals to defy the apocalypse. So again, the Eternals will be coming at us very soon. So this was one of their most recent relaunches because Daniel Acuna art was on it. So I want to say I think this definitely happened like mid-2000s. So if you want to get more of an insight to what's going on with the Eternals, check that out. Luke Cage Epic Collection Volume 1 will be out. This is exciting because if you want the beginnings of Luke Cage to see the hero that he becomes, definitely start here with this trade. You're going to get more comics for your buck, one of the best things out there. Marvel Masterworks Spider-Woman Volume 2 will be out, so if you want to check out some of her early adventures. Marvel Zombies Resurrection will be collected as a trade. This is actually a fun one. Marvel Zombies, when it first came out, was a neat idea, but I felt it just got too overplayed. Then the title got put away for a long time, and then with Tom Taylor's Deceased, that did such a good job, they decided to bring the zombies back. And this time it actually has story with heart that is well worth reading, in my opinion. Morbius, Preludes and Nightmares. So if you want to get some adventures on Morbius in preparation for the movie, definitely check out this trade. Scarlet Witch by James Robinson. So this could be an interesting read. This was put out around the same time as Tom King's Vision. So while he was going over there and deconstructing old Viz, James Robinson was definitely putting some new concepts and ideas into Scarlet Witch herself.
James Robinson, who we talked about last week.
Yes, yeah. So the man plays well in all universes. Spider-Man Kraven's Last Hunt will be getting a Marvel Select hardcover edition. It's such it's always referenced. It's beautiful art. Don't get me wrong. But God, I know we did an episode on that. It did not live up to all the hype.
No, it really didn't.
Yeah, so buyer beware. Uncanny X-Men Disassembled will be collected. So that'll collect the 2019 series, the first 10 issues that brought the X-Men together just to disassemble them. And then Venom by Donny Cates Volume 2 will be out collecting his current run, which will be ending soon. So definitely check that out if you want to get some of the origins to King in Black and what's going on and all this symbiote madness. And that is your spinner rack.
It's a full one. It's pretty big for the beginning of February. So, WandaVision episode 4, we interrupt your program. What are the biggest takeaways for you? This was a aptly named episode because they literally just did a kind of catch up to be like, oh, these are all the things that you don't know or are not privy to this point yet, and we will get back to the Wanda and Vision show after this kind of thing.
So I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun because I love the fact that they go back and explain stuff to you.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was neat. Like now we know what the helicopter was.
Yep.
Several things playing in Geraldine, the beekeeper. Now the beekeeper I found interesting. I think that means that there are AIM agents infiltrating SWORD. So I think that's going to be very interesting to see that play out.
Oh, see, I took that as like it just the Ractal suit just got changed into a beekeeper suit. But that's interesting that you would say that essentially because of the subconscious of that character, knowing that he is also an AIM agent, got changed into a beekeeper. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm feeling. I thought that was great. And again, we're going to be throwing spoilers out, but I'm sure our fans are wanting it, so I hope you're excited. Seeing Dead Vision was nuts. That was quite a visual, so that was pretty cool. And I just now I feel like Wanda is the villain. Like she is going to be the bad guy here, because I was kind of thinking maybe like she went to SHIELD or she went to SWORD, to like, hey, I need some help. I'm going through stuff. And this was kind of like them putting her in this Pleasantville-esque town and saying, okay, just, relax and enjoy. But definitely Wanda is going to be kind of the bad guy here. Now, of course, what does that mean for Agnes and some of the main players? Are they playing along or are they influencing her as well? But Wanda's definitely not going to come out of this in a good sense, which will be an exciting story.
So I love the fact that we got reintroduced to some characters that we already know from the MCU. The biggest one being Monica Rambeau, the daughter of Maria Rambeau, who we now find out that she kind of followed in the same footsteps as Peggy Carter and started up her own government agency in SWORD. Monica Rambeau did get blipped out or ashed or snapped away, however you want to put it, but she got snapped back when the Hulk did his snap in Endgame. So she comes back. She then runs into or gets partnered with Agent Wu from Ant-Man and the Wasp, played by Randall Park. He is in the show. And if
you noticed...
oh yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, if you notice, he's done really good with his magic tricks.
That's right. He's mastered his
so
sleight
I thought that
of
was
hand.
cool for Jimmy. That when he pulled out his card, he did it very, very nicely. So that was awesome to see character growth there.
And then Darcy, I can't remember what her last name is, but she is now a doctor. She has received her doctorate since Thor: The Dark World, and she is one of the lead experts in astrophysics, which makes complete sense. And she is probably the most helpful and smartest person in the room when they figure out that you can use old television to capture the analog signal that's coming out from Westview. So all that being said, we're getting big chunks of who is it that's watching the show? Who is it that was talking into the radio? Where did Geraldine come from? Why was she in there if she wasn't supposed to be a part of the city and she doesn't have her own house, as Agnes pointed out? I definitely think that I've been thinking the Wanda's the one that's been doing this since the beginning, but I still think that someone is manipulating her. And I think the biggest evidence is Darcy saying, someone edited out certain things before it even gets to us, especially like the part where she made Geraldine or Monica Rambeau leave Westview. So I think that's a big indicator that someone is manipulating Wanda. Could it possibly be your Mephisto? I mean, that could be something that ties together both Loki and WandaVision. Owen Wilson being. Oh wait, you haven't said that yet. That's part of the thing that you're going to be talking about later.
Oh.
My bad.
Wow.
But yeah, that's a possibility. I think Agnes has definitely got more than what she is being showed, because as they're pointing out, they're figured out the true identities of a lot of the people that are quote unquote cast members of the show, and Agnes was not one of them. So I'm excited. The show is really kicking off in great ways. Episode 4 really, I think, makes a lot of people tune back in for this now.
Yeah, no, episode 4 was like, this was perfect. This was a great way to do a mystery TV show that requires some commitment, but not full commitment. You know, like this isn't, watch the film and then at the end we tell you it's Kaiser Solse. This was perfect that it's like, okay, let's throw you into this world. Let's see what's happening and then peel it back. And like I said, I just enjoy that. Like you mentioned, the viewer, Jimmy Woo, the beekeeper and the helicopter. That's great to see that here's how those are explained and what they could be. And obviously those are things to keep an eye on and watch out more for. But yeah, that was just fantastic. I love too, and we enjoy that when the B characters come back, so Darcy, Jimmy, that's exciting to see them be used, so I definitely, I'm hyped. I'm glad that I'm watching this real time, so I'm invested in it. So I can't wait to see what more comes out of this show. Oh no, it's fun. I mean, like I said, this is what's great about the show is what it's doing right here. It's getting people to talk about it. It's like, oh, well, what did you think of that? What did you think of that? So that's definitely fun. It's entertaining as heck too. Like, I mean, shout out to the actors and everybody involved because they're doing fantastic stuff. I mean, I can't think of the Kat Dennings. There we go. She was hilarious. The whole coffee thing. Like, hey, I solved your problem. Can I get a cup of coffee? Jim Krasinski, since he was in the episode, he did fantastic.
Jim Krasinski.
Hey, shout out to The Office. Yeah. But I wish I knew the actor's name. What's his name?
Randall Park.
Randall Park. There we go. God, like I was telling Mitch earlier, that's why I'm going to struggle with today's thing. I do not know modern Hollywood. I almost called Jim Krasinski Jim.
Jim Halpert or John Krasinski?
Jim Halpert. There we go. Oh man. But anyways, see, I still did it. So yeah, I'm just bad with modern Hollywood, but I'm definitely excited. I'm surprised I missed that photon reference. Monica Rambeau. I thought that was pretty cool. I wish, though, they would shout out to her because she was Captain Marvel first.
Mm-hmm.
So I really hope she gets her moment to bask in that glory, but we will see.
I hope so. Okay, so we put it out, and this is our challenge for ourselves this week. We wanted to see if we can pick a Marvel character or set of characters that would make for a good TV series or movie that we haven't yet seen in the MCU. Chris has a character or a set of characters, and I have a character or set of characters. But we wanted to see what other people in our social media following also wanted to see. So we put it out on our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And man, did you all bring it on the social media. So let's go with our Facebook first. Over on our Facebook page, we had Dead Duck, we know lovingly as Curly. He said Nightcrawler. Like, yes, we have seen Nightcrawler on the X-Men movies so far, but why not? I would love to see what a new Nightcrawler in the MCU would be, as well as Psylocke. Those are the two characters he picked. So even though those are characters that have already been seen, we'd still love to see them, right?
Yeah. Oh no, definitely, and especially too with with Psylocke making the jump into being Captain Britain, that could be really fun to explore that, especially on television or movies. Yeah, that'd be great.
So over on my Facebook page, because I shared the post, John, one of our co-hosts for Geek Elite Media, is very much pushing for Darkhawk. How would you like to see a Darkhawk movie or TV series? Would you like to see it in a Green Lantern Corps-esque type of feel?
You know, so you definitely got to play the character true to its origins. And that would be tough because, like, I'd rather save that grandioseness for the Nova Corps.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it'd be kind of neat to play, like, I would play Darkhawk probably as like Kyle Rayner then, you know, like here was this grand core of Darkhawks. He becomes one, but he struggles with it because it's like, well, am I the Darkhawk? Is the Darkhawk me? Or are we just two separate things that are sharing an existence? And then, you know, you play it as the novice hero, learning more about the legacy that he's inherited.
Romero Marquez, the proprietor of Red Moon Ale House in Yuma, Arizona, wants Slapstick, which is a character I hadn't heard of in a long time, and I am all for it. Like, give us a mischievous character that, like Slapstick, that is all over the place, and I would love to see that. I don't know if I want to see that in live action so much as I would like to see an animated series, but I think I'd be for it.
I think it would work, especially as an animated series, because one of my favorite things that's near and dear to my heart is Freakazoid. So how much fun would it be to have that character, that idea in the Marvel universe? Well, you know, and it'd be fun too, because you could either get people to come back and reprise roles. So, you know, Robert Downey Jr. could interact with Slapstick, or, you know, you get a voice actor that sounds awfully darn close.
Chad Lashmet, or Lashmet, wanted Gambit. Him and his wife said Gambit, even though we already had Taylor Kitsch, and Nicole would like to have Taylor Kitsch return as the character. I said no, I don't care for that idea. But yes, sure, give me a Gambit. Give me let's see a better interpretation than we got from X-Men Origins Wolverine, and I will be extremely happy.
Well, too, I mean, you've got Channing Tatum. So
that's true.
Do you finally have him play the part, or do we all forget that never happened?
I think we just all forget and let that just go away.
That got snapped.
Yeah. Then we have Michael Butler. He wants the Ultraverse, more specifically Nightman, not the Nightman from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. We're talking about the made for TV adaptation comic book series of a guy who plays saxophone and has long hair in a power suit, if I remember correctly, right?
Yes. Yeah, he did. He augmented powers from his suit. Gosh, there's a throwback to a character. And didn't know, okay, it was Darkman. I was like, wait a second. Didn't we have but we did. We had
Liam Neeson.
God, there we go. Actors. He played the character. But yeah, Nightman. And I think he did have a live action TV show. So there you go. You bring him the Nightman cometh.
Michael Butler. Michael Butler also pointed out, he said, Nightman also held the Reality Stone and it didn't destroy him at one point. So there you go. Bring in that.
Well, the stones
Nightman.
in the comics and other places were very much way more approachable than they are in the movies.
This is true. This is very true. Aaron Berrigan, well, another co-host and one of our web people for Geek Elite Media, has the Fantastic Four. Like, yes, we have had Fantastic Four movies already, but he says they don't exist because they weren't good. I'm sure we are getting a Fantastic Four thing here coming soon enough, so we don't have to worry about that. Matthew Ryan Limerick, who has his own podcast on this certain POV podcast network called Saturday Morning Confessionals, I believe. I am going to be on one of his episodes here coming soon, so I should know better. But he wants Dazzler, and he wants it in a Riverdale style of some of the X-Men B cast. And I asked, did he have any specifically that he would love to see play Dazzler? And he came up with Ariana DeBose, Cynthia Erivo, Ashley Park, Ashley Murray, Emma Hunton, or if she's older, Janelle Monáe. And I mean, I know a handful, I know a couple of these names, and so I would be very interested in seeing any one of them play Dazzler and seeing a live action Dazzler, which technically I think in X-Men, what was that movie? Apocalypse? Yeah, X-Men Apocalypse.
Yeah.
We had a Dazzler. Was it Apocalypse or was it? Yeah, Apocalypse. Not Phoenix, or was it Phoenix? Dark Phoenix.
You know, actually, maybe it was Phoenix. Didn't they have her in the record store or something like that?
You know what? I think in Apocalypse, they went to the record store and you saw the record. I think in Dark Phoenix is when they had the cutout scene where all the kids were camping out in the woods, or at least hanging out in the woods, like having a party, and Dazzler shows up and sings.
Okay, so both.
Yeah, it's a deleted scene in one of them. So there you go. There's that. Okay, over on our Instagram, so we're only got that on Facebook, folks. Stick with us. Geek Life Crisis wants to see Machine Man. What do you think about a Machine Man?
You know, he's a character that's got a lot of love, so that could be fun to play with. And for me, Machine Man, the biggest story that I always think of him in is Earth X. So that could be fun to be like, maybe Machine Man is built and he's running around the Marvel Universe trying to set up and prevent the Earth X from happening.
Okay, cool. I can dig that. Converse Ninja wants Nova, Speedball, Night Thrasher, Nemorita, Silhouette, Firestar, Marvel Boy. Basically, the New Warriors.
The New Warriors, yeah.
I mean, I could be down for a New Warriors TV series, which is kind of interesting because that's what we see at the beginning of Civil War, the comic book, right? It's a
cops-esque style.
reality show of the New Warriors, and they have a big issue when they fight Nitro. So
I almost picked the New Warriors.
Really?
I almost went that route. Yeah, because I thought it would have been fun. Because the New Warriors, when it launched as a comic, it actually spun out of the Thor series.
Really?
This group of heroes. Yeah, like it was basically kind of like it was trying to capture the magic of the new Teen Titans for the early 90s. So anyways, like, yeah, they first appeared in Thor, so he was kind of like the mentor hero for them, and like, I give you my blessing, and so of course now they're like, hey, we have a stamp of approval. But they're very, very interesting group of characters, and even then I would play it all the way up to, because Marvel Boy, he actually winds up becoming Justice as we know him better. And he had a very a crazy superhero origin arc. Like I think it was either his father or his stepfather was just crazy abusive to him. And so one day when his father was, being totally abusive to him, he attacked, or not attacked, he had defended himself, which led to him accidentally killing his father. So then he was put on trial. And I think that would be like a great 2-season arc. Just play with that, like establish these heroes, season 1 have the build up, maybe that leads to the death of the dad, season 2 puts it in trial, and then you could even take some of those ideas, like, should there be teen heroes, blah blah blah. So I think that show, there's a lot to mine from those early comics.
All right, I'm all for it. Coolin_Lewis said Namor, Longshot, Mr. Sinister, and Corsair, to name a few. Now, I know there's a name in there that you really care for.
Yeah, so you'd have to play it as the Starjammers, which could be fun. That one I would definitely play it as an animated series, and you'll get more mileage.
Yeah, I think so. Mr. Sinister ends up coming up a lot, I think, in the Twitter feed too. And I know I'm positive we're getting a Namor here pretty soon. So that just leaves Longshot, and I don't know. I mean, do you do the tie-in of both the X-Men and Captain Marvel, like, into Longshot? Is it Longshot? No, Longshot is Dazzler that he ties into, right?
He kind of hangs out with her. I'd say if you're gonna do Longshot, I say you play it with Mojo. You have those two running around in different, like you could almost play it like kind of WandaVision, So it's like have an episode where Black Widow, Iron Man, and War Machine get put into a sitcom, and all of a sudden they're like, what? And it's like long shots there, and he's like, I'm gonna help you escape. This is what Mojo does. Here we go. So that could be kind of fun to play in that way, but Longshot by himself, just he's not that fun a character.
Funny that you bring up Mojo, because I think that's going to be something that I don't think it is, but it is something that I've been throwing around that could end up being in WandaVision. What if it's Mojo that's manipulating things?
That'd be something.
And then the last on our Instagram, is the Darth Abides, and he might have gotten a little confused because he put Snowflame, which was a character I've never heard of before, and when I looked it up, is a DC character. So we will keep that in mind for next week. It is he is a supervillain who fought the New Guardians over in DC Comics.
There you go.
Now onto the really big list. We have our Twitter. First one up is Pro Benchwarmer at Pro Benchwarmer. Nova. First reason I was hype about Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, yeah, we've gotten the Nova Corps in the Guardians of the Galaxy, but we haven't got Richard Rider or Sam. What's Sam's name?
Oh my God, I want to say Jones, but that's not right. That's an actor.
And I wanted to say Sam Wilson, but that's not right.
That's Falcon. But yeah, the new kid. Yeah.
Yeah. So I know someone else down the list somewhere puts have Richard Rider be the last of the Nova Corps like he's supposed to be, and then have him train Sam as the new Nova Corps member or new Nova. Like, I think that'd be a pretty good idea.
I think that'd be fun, but I think you got to establish the full glory of the Nova Corps. Like to me, it's one of those things where they kind of get lost, forgetting that the Nova Corps did exist with Richard Rider, so he did get to meet other Novas. So that'd be kind of fun to play with that, and then eventually lead towards, Richard becomes the omnipotent Nova, and then he passes on part of the power to Sam, and let it play out in that regard.
Okay. At Returneth to Base, he says Agents of Atlas, or I'm sorry, he or she says Agents of Atlas. You already have Jimmy Woo in the MCU, and he's a fan favorite. Make this show a comedy heist of the week for the greater good. Probably drop Gorilla Man for what I hope are very obvious reasons. Sure, more Jimmy Woo and Agents of Atlas. I'm all for it. One thing I did see on Twitter, and it wasn't on our feed, someone suggested Jimmy Woo have his own FBI X-Files type series where, Randall Park as Jimmy Woo goes every week and has to investigate something strange that's happening in the MCU.
That could be fun.
Yeah, right. And so that could go right into your Agents of Atlas. That's what they could be doing.
There you go.
Once again, we have John coming in with Dark Hawk. We have at Red King 36. He just says Next Wave. I don't know much about the Next Wave characters, but sure.
Oh, that was kind of a let me double check here, but I do remember that was I think they were like a short-lived group. Yeah, the Next Wave. So they kind of played out of Civil War. So you had like characters that I know from that one. Monica Rambeau. So that's great. Like, she has a place to definitely go. Elsa Bloodstone. She's a character I'd love to see her get played up a little bit more. Tabitha Smith, aka Boom Boom. So she's got some X-Force tie-in over there. So yeah, they were just kind of like this quirky group of heroes that got put together because of the Civil War. Machine Man was part of that, so you can definitely play, have him in there as well. So this is kind of like the lost home for the misfit toys of the Marvel Universe, maybe.
At MVBrat91 asked for Snowguard, which is a character from the newly minted Champions. This is real name Amka Aligak, and Snowguard or Snowgore. Not a character that I'm familiar with, but I'm all for it. A champions thing could be pretty cool, especially with Miles Morales being on that team.
Yeah, that could be a fun way to go.
At Geektown Podcast, fellow podcasters, Speedball. My answer is always Speedball. Sure. Now, Speedball is... Wait, which one is the one that becomes Penance? That's Speedball, right?
Yeah, that's Speedball, yep.
Because there was the other guy that was part of the initiative, that his name was also Ball, but was it Fastball?
I think it was Fastball, yes.
Okay. Sure. Speedball. And I know someone else down the line is going to say something about have a whole thing about Speedball eventually becoming Penance and having to, do that whole storyline, which that's definitely interesting. I'm all for it.
And again, Speedball has ties to the new Warriors, so that'd be fun to play.
Yeah, I'm all for that. At Bernie Comic Nerd, this says the smartest there is Lunella Lafayette, which is Moon Girl of Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she's supposed to be one of the smartest, if not the smartest, in the MCU, correct?
Yeah, they play her up there, so she's definitely in the top tier of brainiacs of the Marvel universe.
Then we have the name gets cut off. So at Adventuring to Fear wants the Legion of Monsters, and the picture that they put up is Robbie Reyes, Ghost Rider, a Wolfman, so I'm guessing Werewolf by Night, Morbius, and Man-Thing.
Okay, that'd be a fun team of people to play up. You slap in a couple more of the Ghost Riders, and I'm down.
I mean, we know that you've been wanting a whole Ghost Rider theme for a while, themed show, so I'm all for that. Next, we have at RWC Jesse and at Scott Hayden, who both want Death's Head, which is a character I've never heard of before, but sure. It looks like some type of robot with a mace hand and something. I don't know. Have you ever seen this character before?
I've seen him. I don't know much about him. For some reason in my mind, I've always had it that I think he's a Marvel Britain character that just like, they were like, oh, he's so cool. And they tried to cross him over. And I mean, he pops up every now and then, but he's just, I don't know, like it feels like a lamer version of Lobo. Not to be mean, but yeah, it is something else. So, I mean, hey, everybody's got fans, so
everybody
give it a shot.
That's right. Now we have at Matthew 9456335 put down Marvel's version of Hercules and the rest of the Greek god pantheon. I am all for this if that means I get a Marvel's Ares character, like person to play that character. Like, I am for that. I love that character. I think he's so interesting in his one-dimensionalness.
Now I have to become the showrunner just so that way for the final episode, I'm going to be like, okay, we're going to bring the Sentry in, and then I'm just going to watch Mitch cry.
Okay, so then now we are at that part where that Matthew Lewis P said, Penance, just a straight reality show spoof as Speedball following the new Warriors for Act 1 until Stanford. Act 2 is prison and figuring out his new gimmick. And Act 3 is taking down Nitro as a cringeworthy, self-hating edgelord. So there's definitely not a lot of love for the character in this tweet, but definitely an interesting story that you portray there. And that's Matthew Lewis Podcast. Let's see.
I like it. He definitely hits a lot of the elements.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. Definitely hits a lot of the elements. At A_strange_1NE wants I wish I could pick Blink, but instead I got to go with Layla Miller. What do you think about that? Like, Layla Miller became a huge part of Marvel during House of M, and then a little bit after that, but very much a character that's gone away. So, how do you feel about Layla Miller?
So Brian Michael Bendis is definitely going to be happy. You know, it'd be fun, and that's one of those ones where you could play it off like there's your Riverdale. You know, like you could definitely play her as that, where she's like, oh, you know, like yes, she knows stuff, as she used to say, but that could be the fun one where it's like, oh, hey, we've got to rush over to you know, and prevent so and like she could like that effectively could be a show where maybe they prevent villains from happening, you know, where it's like, oh, let's run over and stop John Smith from getting a cosmic cube, and then they prevented the resurrection of the Red Skull, you know, stuff like that. Maybe they could have fun with that. You could bring the multiple man in, so that there's a fun sidekick to have play with it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I'm all for that too. At Bullets Scarer 22. Or maybe that's Bullet Scarer 22 or Bullets Carer 22. Well, the big one I wanted to see in live action is happening in Hawkeye with Kate Bishop. So yeah, maybe Black Cat. I believe it's Amazing Spider-Man #2 with Andrew Garfield. Was a Black Cat in there, but was cut. So yeah, we've never seen a live action Black Cat yet, and I'm all for that.
And I don't know if you remember this. So Catwoman was almost playing Black Cat before she took on that part in the long forgotten Spider-Man 4 by Sam Raimi.
It was supposed to be Anne Hathaway?
I can't think of the actress's name. Yeah, Anne Hathaway was going to be Felicia Hardy.
Oh, I did not know that.
She was all set to go. Yeah, she was all set to go, and they just canceled it. And they're like, "Never mind, we're not doing it." So yeah, but Black Cat, I mean, there's potential there, and with Sony loving to take spider characters, that one's definitely hey, like if they're gonna do something, there's a character to pick and use. That'd be great.
Yeah, that was a character that was they were at one point in time, 3 years ago, Sony was making Black Cat and Silver Sable movie. So it was called Black and Silver, and it got shelved, but who knows? It might be something that they bring back up. At Mira Luca fan wants Silk Cindy Moon, which I believe the character of Cindy Moon has already been in the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. I believe that's been confirmed, but never really named. So yes, give us Silk. Like, it's a very interesting character in the way that they use the origin of Spider-Man and now the origin of Silk to be parallel to each other. So I'm all for that.
Yeah, that's a great pick.
Yeah, at Ladies of Comics, we have Spider-Woman, parentheses Jessica Drew, and the Power Pack. Sure, Power Pack. Give us Power Pack. At Blossoming Nova, or Blossoming _Nova, Dr. Voodoo. Sure. Jericho. It's Jericho Blood, right? No, I'm thinking of Dr.
Yeah, I think so.
Brother Blood.
Jericho
Drum. Thank you, Jericho Drum. We know that his brother was already in the first Doctor Strange movie. He's killed by Callisis, whatever, Mads Mikkelsen's character. So there is precedent for bringing in Dr. Voodoo.
There you go. That'd be fun.
Oh, another co-host of one of the shows, or a few of the shows on Geek Elite Media is Jessica Bailey. She's at JM Bailey Writes. She only knows Spider-Woman Jessica Drew from 1979 animated series, but that's what she wants. And I can't imagine there not being a Jessica Drew Spider-Woman something coming up here soon. It's too good of a character not to.
Yeah, she's got a lot of ties into stuff. Shield, Hydra, obviously the Spider connection. But that'd be fun, and I would love play her as a secret agent. You know, where Nick Fury's like, I need you to go deep, and then she goes so deep she becomes bad that they're like, we need you to go good, and all these things like crisscrossing back and forth, and then finally she just becomes Spider-Woman, and I would just love a scene where she meets up with Spider-Man, and he's like, "Oh, so are you like me?" And she's like, "No, this is just a theme I wear."
That was kind of her storyline after Secret Invasion, right? When she came back.
Yeah, they kind of played with that. I loved her in that. Like New Avengers, like if Jessica wants to definitely check out Spider-Woman more, I would always point somebody to that era of New Avengers. She was great in that.
At Kines, Kinnes, Kinneas. I'm sorry if I'm saying your name. Want the Watcher. We saw some Watchers in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, so we can definitely get a Watu in there somewhere. Nova, Stingray, and Wonder Man. And I'm sure the world is primed for Wonder Man here coming soon, but I had to respond to the Stingray comment because that is such a deep cut and such an interesting character that I loved it. I love the few times that I've actually seen that character in the comic books that I would love to see what someone else would do with that character.
There you go. He is a fun character. Like he's got a unique gimmick to him, and plus I like the fact that he's like, I'm not really in this for the superheroing, I'm more into it for the actual science and discovery that I can do. So that's kind of a fun, like I didn't ask to be a hero, that'd be a fun play.
At Enrique VB Jr. Put down Magda Eisenhard, which would be the one-time wife of Magneto.
I think so. I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that's true.
That could be interesting, like an early Tales of Magneto. All right.
Would that be the mother of Scarlet Witch?
That's so tough right now. At one point in time, yes, I believe Magda was the mother of Magneto's children, but now that they're not related, I don't know how they're playing Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch in the comics right now. Like they're there, so it's weird.
They're just all people.
yeah, it's like there you go.
At Kathy YY Stan, we have Enchantress, which we'd never gotten Enchantress in the MCU yet, if I remember correctly. We got her sister in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but not Enchantress, I think.
And that's a good pick. She's a very long-standing character in the Marvel universe, and she's gone from being a villain to being a hero, and so that's always fun to play those character arcs.
At Jason Todd _1983 came in with Superman. I know Superman's pretty great. Not exactly a Marvel character, so we'll save that for next time for when we do DC. At Rome B50 or 555 put Stingray, so that's great. At Redhead D39 put Alpha Flight with all caps and exclamation marks. So yes, thank you.
Canadian representation.
We have at Digmatic put Blue Marvel. Enough said. And yeah, came back with he's Marvel's version of Superman. Plus he did this, which is essentially knock out Gray Hulk with one punch, or I don't know if it's one punch, but that's what the comic panel he posted is. Yes, I'm all for Blue Marvel. Give me Blue Marvel in the MCU. Give me someone great to portray him actor-wise, and it's going to be unbelievable.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to learn more about the Blue Marvel, because I've seen the character pop up. I like the fact that he's got a scientific mind. So I think that's neat, because that could lead to a character, exploring the Marvel universe and all the other tie-ins to it. So that'd be fun, because this is a character that you could explain like, well, yeah, this is why I'm allowed to go into the negative zone, because I'm strong. I'm super strong. So that'd be fun.
At Super Commie Daniel, one of our hosts on Geek Elite Media, he put Hope Summers as a big comic, or as a big X-Men person, Chris, and a Summers family historian. How do you feel about Hope Summers getting live action treatment?
She's a good character. I'm not a fan of hers though, because Hope was this character, and she was created in the Messiah Complex crossover, which was fantastic. Then when she grew up to obtain her ultimate glory, so like when she came back during the Second Coming, that was awesome. But I feel like Marvel missed the mark when they used her in Avengers versus X-Men. She just kind of totally like, she was definitely written out of character. But once she was destined to become the Phoenix and her and Scarlet Witch dismantle the power and all that, there was really nothing to do with the character. She just becomes like, all right, here's this angry young woman. And like she has a better place now in the House of X. So maybe that's where I could see her having a fun show. Like, okay, let's take her and take the other 4 members that are part of the Resurrection team and let them play out something. But I keep her away from the Summers family, though. That's all I ask.
At Smash Trivia John put Gwenpool for sure. I absolutely love her story. It goes really deep as she has the existential crisis because she's from our world, so she knows that living in this comic world, she could be canceled at any time, effectively killing her. Gwenpool is definitely a character I don't know enough about. I understand that she is a character that is technically from our world, that it finds herself into a comic book and can pull things from comic books to use as weapons, if I understand correctly. Do you know much about Gwenpool?
Yeah. No, she just seems like, if anything, like it was funny because I think she was created as a variant cover. I was like, oh, let's have, since we have Spider-Gwen, let's have Gwen step in the other stuff. So like, Gwen Hulk and all these things. And it was like, oh yeah, Gwenpool. And it's stuck. And it feels like it's like, picture Superboy Prime mixed with Harley Quinn and then tossed into the Marvel universe. And it's like, okay, there you go. And it's a funny idea. Like definitely that would be a show I'd say like toss it in as an animated series. And I think you'd have fun.
Yeah. I think the only time that I've actually read anything with her in it was the newly attempt at West Coast Avengers with Kate Bishop running it. So that was the only time I'd seen her, and she'd pulled a big old gun from a comic book to fight a bad guy. So there's that.
She had some cable power.
At Rockford_Guy, Monica Rambeau solo series in New Orleans. We have plenty of disasters here already. So, I mean, we have Monica Rambeau in live action now. Sure, give her own series, see what she can do. Oh,
there you go.
This one is in another language, so I have to translate it translated from Portuguese. So, at Mark_Sousa, when they announced that they were thinking about making a multiple man movie, he thought that was interesting. So yeah, multiple man, give us multiple man. Like the budget on that might be pretty high for having to do one person multiple times, but I'm all for it.
Yeah, that wouldn't be too bad. And there you go. They're tie it back into Layla Miller and you're set.
At Shit Brisket. Wiccan, I know we're on the verge, like it's coming in 10 years or less, but Young Avengers series or purely Wiccan series, like I guess WandaVision works for Scarlet Witch, but she deserves more than 30-minute episodes. Also, Storm and Phoenix deserve fully developed stories. Yeah, Wiccan is, I mean, we now have Billy possibly Kaplan. Billy is in the TV series as a baby, so why not grow up the twins so that they can become the Young Avengers?
Yeah, that'd be fun. I'd enjoy seeing that.
At Roberts ACTP, a real Wolverine. That 6'2" actor is not Wolverine. Wolverine is supposed to be at least 5'5". That's how he got his name. Wolverines are small but very ferocious. Even in the much loved animated series, he was shorter than all the women. Give short actors a shot. Look, I get it. Yes, we want a short Wolverine, but you can't come in here and say that Hugh Jackman didn't do a great job as Wolverine. Like, for 2 decades, he was Wolverine, and we are all happy about it.
No, he did a great job, but now we are in the age of Danny DeVito as Wolverine. It's time. It's time to make it happen.
I don't know if that's where we want to go with that. I'm sorry. I'm gonna
try it once and you'll be hooked. I'll go find the Alex Ross sketch and send it to you.
At The Last Gorgon, I have an idea for a comic that could make a fun series. It follows Lobo starting with Crow. This person has gone with the DC character. Lobo, Crush, New 52, a whole bunch of things. Throw in Sheba and Sinestro and more. We'll get back to that when it comes to our TC side of the equation, and trust us, we will be getting there. Spider-Man. Oh, I'm sorry. At FMNIAZ1 tweets. We have Spider-Man 2099, or if it's in the original, then Sons of the Tiger. I have no idea who the Sons of the Tiger are. Do you have any clues on that?
Not much, no. But I would definitely play for the Spider-Man 2099. That's a winner right there.
Oh, we're getting that. We're going to definitely be getting that soon. I can only imagine with that.
I cannot wait.
Third Spider-Man movie. If they're throwing everybody in, why not throw in Miguel O'Hara also? Sorry, yes. Folks. I put on here that we'll read your answers on our next episode of Imagine If. I did not expect us to get this many answers, so we're going to go through all. I'm not going to be a liar. At Songbird Diamond, surprisingly came up with Songbird of the Thunderbolts. Yeah.
Thunderbolts. Yes.
Yeah. Give us Songbird. I'm all for that. She's
a great character.
Yes.
She's a great character, and I would love to see her. She got to be played out in Avengers Forever. So she's introduced as kind of like a low key, like, hey, you did something wrong, so now you're in trouble, so that's why you're on the Thunderbolts. But her future legacy, she's going to be one of the better Marvel heroes. Unfortunately, Marvel kind of took some train rails with changing that up on her. But I would love to see her get the justice she needs. So that's a great pick.
Yeah. And I've been wanting to go ahead.
Start her with a Thunderbolt show. That way she's the sympathetic character. You're like, oh my God, this poor woman, she's having to hang out with the likes of like Norman Osborn and the Radioactive Man. And it's like, we hope she stays pure and survives this mess.
And I've been wanting a Thunderbolts live action thing forever. So I'm all for this. At Pineapple Robin put Luna Snow, and this is a character I had to go look up. I have no idea who this is. She is a part of the Agents of Atlas new book that has all the Asian characters as part of it. Her real name is Sol He. Do you know anything about this character, Chris?
Oh, I didn't really get to catch on to her.
Yeah, let's see if this says on this page what her powers could be. I don't see a thing where it says here we go. Cryokinesis. Luna can produce dark ice for destruction and light ice for healing. Ooh.
Interesting.
At Cupid of Crime put Elsa Bloodstone. Bloodstone, that's the monster hunter, right?
Yep. So this is his daughter Elsa. So it's funny because I love, Mitch knows this. I have a core set of characters. And so when I think about these characters, I'm developing and looking at stuff and trying to figure them out. And there was a little bit of Elsa Bloodstone got used in Marvel's Damnation. It was a fun crossover event. She was fun in there. She was kind of like teasing, flirting with Scarlet Spider. So I thought that was neat, but I figure with her being a monster hunter, I thought it would be more fun to pair her up with Johnny Blaze. So in my world where I have my Ghost Riders garage of heroes where they fix cars and monster hunt, I would love to have Elsa be part of that team and kind of see if they're, see what relationship develops between her and Johnny. So I dig it.
Okay. At Midnight Uzo, put Squirrel Girl, which we have been close to getting Squirrel Girl in live action a few times now. The comedic actress who does the AT&T commercials, she was cast as Squirrel, and the live action version got canceled, but she has gone on to do the voice of Squirrel Girl in animated stuff, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I believe so.
At Hi Brittany Monet put Jessica Drew from the 616, which we've talked about. At Devon562 put Puck I mean, there's your Danny DeVito. Give us Puck.
Canadian Danny DeVito. The search is on.
At FilmFatale_NYC put Blue Marvel, Celia Reyes, not the one that we got in the New Mutants because that was garbage. Ava Aya, White Tiger, and Agents of Atlas. So yeah, that's a whole slew of characters that we've not seen yet and would be amazing. White Tiger is such a cool character too. Definitely like
I would love to.
I was just gonna say, in the design of White Tiger looks like a version of Black Panther's costume, but White Tiger, and I'm all for seeing that version. What were you about to say?
Yeah, I was gonna say that's another great character with family legacy, because you had the original White Tiger, and then it was passed on to Aya. So that'd be fun to really play in and see that legacy tradition hand down. I'd be up for that.
At Hogstan Dan put Honey Badger, which is one of the long legacies of the Wolverine bloodline. I believe she is I don't remember what her real name is, but she is a clone of X-23, or is she a clone of Wolverine straight too?
Oh gosh, that is a tough one. I want to say I think she's a clone of X-23. That's why she hangs out with Laura.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong, but I think that's where the tie is.
At CJ Writes Things, Nova movie. Give me a Nova movie where Richard Rider, the last of the Nova Corps, trains Sam Alexander. See, this is the one that I was talking about earlier. It's Sam Alexander. Great storyline.
People want to end the Nova Corps before they even start.
Well, I mean, Thanos did that. Thanos went like in the Infinity War. He talks about how he already went to that planet and killed all the Nova Corps.
Well, true, but I mean, it's just such a shame that we don't get to see the majestic of it. So there you go. That's how I'm going to frame it.
Okay.
Richard Rider survives, or no? So the Nova helmet comes to Earth. Richard Rider gets it. He gets taken. I forget what the Nova planet is. He meets Glenn Close, and together they build up the Novas. And then, I mean, I'm not against bringing in Sam Alexander. I think he'd be a great character introduced. But I'm looking forward to seeing that giant group shot of Novas, but like not spaceships. I want them in their like full, kick-ass mode.
At Wicked Steel put, I want to go with the Rasputins, either Colossus or Magic. Now, we have Magic in the New Mutants movie, and we've had two different Colossuses. We had Colossus in the X-Men movies from the early 2000s, and we have a Colossus in the Deadpool movies. So, definitely characters we've seen already, but always room for more interpretations of them. At World of Tigra, I wonder who she's going to pick. Full disclosure, I may or may not resent Julia Carpenter for replacing Tigra on the West Coast Avengers, and then it was canceled. And obviously, the takeaway there is replace Tigra and get your own book canceled. I think I might have jumped ahead on that because this all comes from at JM Manure. No, Meneur? Meunier. Sorry for messing up your name. Spider-Woman 2, Jessica Carpenter. He meant Julia Carpenter. Maybe starring Amanda Seyfried. Why, Julie? Cool powers, different from Spider-Man's abilities, has kids, tries to toe the government line, but Freedom Force, problematic ex-husband, great Avenger, drama, comedy, and action. And here is a picture of Amanda Seyfried so that you know that she looks like Julia Carpenter. So that's when you got a World of Tiger come in and say, blah, just say no to faux Spider-Woman. And at Spider-Woman Daily agrees, yes, no. So we got a little bit of controversy going on in there. At Channel Camden.
But honestly, that
go ahead.
I was going to jump it back to, though, I think that's where you get the greater win. Avengers West Coast.
Yeah.
I think that'd be fun to play bring that over. And maybe you do get Jeremy Renner to like suit up as Hawkeye. So now he gets more of a spotlight and we get to see that hot-headed Clint that we didn't really get too much of. And then you bring in these extra characters. So that gets the greater fan appeal.
At Channel Camden said Spider-Man 2099. So another Miguel O'Hara. At Daily Tony Stark 1, Iron Lad 100%. With the right writers and director, you can make a pretty awesome movie or TV show based on the characters. It's honestly such a shame how underutilized he is in the comics. Well, I mean, unfortunately, Iron Lad went away pretty quick in the Young Avengers. He sacrifices himself and then comes back as... we find out that he's Kang the Conqueror. He sacrifices himself and he comes back as or Vision takes on the Iron Lad suit, so to speak.
Yeah.
At Lori Hyrup put Jessica Drew and Rachel Gray. Rachel Gray is a name we hadn't heard yet, so that's going to be pretty interesting. That could be pretty interesting. At Not a Furry 420. I feel like Mr. Sinister has been shoved out of the general public spotlight for long enough. For such a cool villain, I can't believe he wasn't used in the Fox movies.
It's a good point. I felt like X-Men the Animated Series Volume 2, or not Volume 2, Season 2, I think they used him very nicely there. And I know when there was the rumor like, oh, maybe Bryan Cranston, like, people lit up for it. So the world does want a Mr. Sinister.
Let's see if we get this. At Diamond Spider P put Black Cat, technically Felicia Hardy was in the animated or the Amazing Spider-Man 2, but I don't count that. So I said that earlier. At Jojo_Hobbit, does a young Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne Ant-Man and Wasp count? I've always wanted a film Disney Plus series about them and have them fan casted them perfectly, in my honest opinion. But if they don't count, maybe Hercules. Marvel delving into the Greek pantheon sounds like it could be fun.
I'd like that. I'd really enjoy seeing Hank and Jan in their new Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. days, so that could be fun. Do it as a animated series and see if the two actors would come in and voice. That'd be fun.
Mm-hmm. At Armageddon 26 put Reptile, which a character from the Avengers Initiative, if I remember correctly, the young lady that was an apprentice to Dr. Kirk Connors, the Lizard.
Yeah.
Am I right? Is that the right character? Or am I thinking? No, that's Komodo. I'm thinking Reptile is the
red
mutant
dinosaur.
Yeah, the boy that can shapeshift into dinosaurs. Nick Andreas 13 put Darkhawk. At FVS Hardy put Black Cat. At Wiseman 11 put a proper Cable. So apparently he did not like Josh Brolin.
I could get behind that.
At 3D Belmont put Gambit. So another Gambit. At Jessica Drew SW put Jessica Drew. At Capes on the Couch put, aside from Moon Knight, since we're already getting him soon, I'll go with North Star. So part of the Alpha Flight, part of the X-Men. I can go for a North Star.
Canadian love.
Mm-hmm. At Rob_Kroll, Marvel Nova, but not the core girl who was after the Silver Surfer or Firestar. Not the core. Oh, that's Supernova, right? The one that got the power from Galactus?
But I'm not too sure, but I know Firestar. I know Firestar would be fun to play up again, another New Warriors character, but yeah, I can't picture who that Nova Corps girl potentially is.
No, the person, Rob, is saying Nova, not the Corps. He's talking about the girl that was a Herald of Galactus after Silver Surfer and Firestar.
Oh. right, now I get it. Yes, yeah, she was one of the I think Frankie Ray, if I remember correctly, was her secret identity.
Yes, Frankie Ray. That's right. Because I remember her from the Fantastic Four animated series.
Yep, exactly. That's what did it. Because I remember they were so happy to sing the song "Frankie and Johnny."
At PAEZ64 put Strike Force Moratori. Do you know who that is?
I don't know who the person. Like, I know there was the team Strike Force recently that did a comic series, but this is looking to be something completely different. So no, this is new to me.
Yeah, it's some kind of ongoing series, so it must be the Strike Force Moratori that you were talking about, and this is at least in the newest iteration, and they want a whole series based off of that series, which, yes, give us all the things. At Cinemarians, Cimerians, X-Men spinoff, Storm followed by maybe Nightcrawler or Claremont's Cyclops or Claremont's Magneto. Why specifically Claremont's Cyclops or Claremont's Magneto, Chris?
Well, I mean, Claremont really came in and gave depth to those characters. So that would definitely be the way to go, because it's interesting. Like, I know recently there's been a lot of articles talking about, Stan Lee, he was the one who decided to make Professor X Magneto be like Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X. And it's like, no, that wasn't Stan Lee. That wasn't Stan Lee at all. But if anything, would probably be more from Chris Claremont. And I would agree. I would say, those are great. Claremont's pen really gave depth to both those characters. Claremont's Magneto, we learned that, oh, wow, he was a survivor of the Holocaust. We learned about the tragic loss of Magda and his family, the madness that was inside him, and, eventually leading to X-Men 200, where Magneto had to go to trial for his crimes as a world terrorist. Cyclops, we finally started getting the origins there, the backstory with Mr. Sinister, his family, Corsair being his father. So, definitely if you're looking for origins and character growth, yeah, Claremont's the man when it comes to those two.
At Rouge Aru 1776 put Carol Danvers and Ms. Marvel. And I don't know if this person just doesn't care for the Captain Marvel we already got, or they specifically want a Ms. Marvel timeline, like a time when Carol Danvers was Ms. Marvel.
That wouldn't be too bad. I know I'm fond of Carol's earlier adventures myself, but it'd be interesting to see how it plays out.
At Benjamie 43551509 put Fing Fang Foom. Like, I don't know. I mean, definitely not going to get his own series or movie, but showing up in, what is he? He's a Fantastic Four villain, right?
Well, he's an old school Marvel Atlas era monster. He did get to carry over into the Marvel Age of Comics, but yeah, that's going to be a tough sell. But hey, it's a fun character to see pop up every now and then.
At Wednesday Pull List, at Wednesday Pull, they are the Wednesday Pull List, which sounds like someone of our character that would like. Wants Night Thrasher or Shoot, I'll take all the New Warriors. And we talked about that already. New Warriors seems to be getting a pretty big push. At James Sexton 007, Marvel has some great teams since Alpha Flight and GLA, Great Lakes Avengers, were mentioned. I'll add the Rangers. As for solo heroes, I'd love Brother Voodoo or Spider-Woman Jessica Drew. So do you know the Rangers? It looks like Red Wolf and Firebird are definitely part of those characters. I believe that name was used again. Sorry.
Yeah, you're going towards the Texas Rangers when they did the Avengers Initiative. I'm okay with that. Not everything has to happen back east, so this could be fun to get a little bit, of some desert landscapes. So not too bad. It's gonna be an interesting sell with the character list there, because no one's gonna care much about them. Like, your only two are probably Firebrand and Red Wolf, and then maybe Night Ranger. But he's kind of, that's gonna be a tough sell. But hey, in the era of all the things, it could happen.
Yeah, this is the picture that was included was Red Wolf, Firebird, Texas Twister, Shooting Star, and Knight Rider, which I believe, like, didn't we use Knight Rider, or at least the Phantom Rider, as a legacy for Secret Warriors with Nick Fury? Wasn't?
Yeah, he got played there. Yeah.
And now, don't we already like include the Knight Rider, Phantom Rider as part of the Ghost Rider family?
Yeah, because when he was first created, he was the Ghost Rider, and then once the Johnny Blaze version came, it was kind of like, yeah, that's the cooler one. Let's give him the name.
At Artmin44.
He's part of the Rider family.
Go ahead.
Oh, I said, yeah, but he's definitely part of the Rider family now, you know?
Mm-hmm. At ArtMim44 put Ultraverse and CrossGen. I don't know much about the CrossGen people, and I know a little bit more about the Ultraverse, and we've talked about the Ultraverse a few times in our podcasting, so that's interesting. And that, hey, Nightman is included in there. At NIC Spotlight, the Masters of Evil. I would have loved to see the original Avengers team battle a group of supervillains on the big screen. We kind of got something similar on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I'd rather have seen them fight the Avengers. Anybody specifically from the Masters of Evil you'd love to see on the big screen?
So to me, I always like to think of the Masters of Evil as like, you know, how there's the Injustice League. So that should be your primo anti-villains and all that fun, or your anti-hero versions. I know your classic version had Baron Zemo, so I think he's a great character to keep on there. You had Enchantress and the Enforcer. And I think they were the original three. And then Radioactive Man was part of it too. But personally, I would like to see the Masters of Evil that turns into the Thunderbolts. So, you know, I'd frame it as a Thunderbolts show, but in reality, it is a Masters of Evil.
Let's see. At Sentient Veggie put Moon Knight. They've been teasing it since 2006, so we're getting it. We're getting it. It's coming. Don't just hold on. ArtMim44 has more. He would like Clandestine, which is an Alan Davis creation, as well as Alan Davis's Excalibur. Chris,
ooh, those are some picks.
Inform me on who Alan Davis is and what is Clandestine.
So Alan Davis is a British artist who also has become a writer. He was very big in teaming up with Chris Claremont, and they launched Excalibur. So basically, think of it as your British X-Men. It had some long stays: Captain Britain, Megan, Kitty Pryde, Rachel Summers Phoenix, and Nightcrawler. And then, of course, other people would jump into the teams. Lockheed was there as well. Clandestine, I'm not too familiar with them. I know that is his own personal creation of characters. Like even in the provided image that at Artmin44 provided, I'm not too sure who some of those characters are. I definitely recognize the art, and I know they got featured in, like, I want to say 2016 during a crossover set of annuals. So of course, while I do want Alan Davis to get some love and money from Marvel, I think the better sell is Excalibur, and then maybe have Clandestine pop in for an episode or two as a backdoor pilot. Maybe that's how you do it.
Yeah, that Clandestine picture, I don't recognize anybody in there. Maybe the one character is wearing some Shi'ar like equipment. Like, it's definitely a Shi'ar looking outfit. So that's about all I got for that.
Yeah.
Let's see. At Sinjun45, Nina Price or Vampire by Night, and be a series that more explores the horror side of Marvel, with her uncle Werewolf by Night showing up, Jennifer Kale and Elsa Bloodstone training her. Satana and Lilith also showing up as close friends, with Mephisto and Blackheart as main villains. I did not know there was a Vampire by Night and that she is related to Werewolf by Night. So that is interesting. Yeah, give us more of the horror.
Or the Invisible Person by Night.
What was that?
I said that in that case, I'm looking forward to the Invisible Person by Night.
Yeah, sure. All the Universal monsters can show up. So we got that. Let's see. At Stephen Shend wants Hercules. At Alt Button, or at the _alt_ button. Just want my boy Dark Hawk back. think he'd work well for a villain of the week styled show. Okay. At Joe G. Kushner.
This is a big year for.
Go ahead.
Well, going back to Darkhawk for a second, there is going to be a lot of love this year for Darkhawk. He is getting a anniversary issue. Like, I think the character's turning 30 or 35, something like that. So it's interesting to see. His name's popped up a lot on people wanting to see more with him. So there you go, Marvel. We've done some free research for you.
At Joe G. Kushner, Sons of the Tiger, followed by the White Tiger. This is not the first time we've heard Sons of the Tiger show up, so there seems to be a want.
There you go.
At Make Mine Amalgam, I like that name. At Sean McKeever and at the Mike Norton's Gravity, a live-action show on Disney+. Yeah, give us Gravity with all the teen angst. Like, I remember picking up that book when I think he was a new character. I'm not sure or not, but I enjoyed that book. I didn't keep with the character though, so that's my bad. But you have any interest in Gravity?
He was a cool looking hero. I remember the costume very well and the symbol especially. But I didn't read them. So, I mean, I would check it out because it looks lighthearted and fun. So that's always great when it comes to superheroics.
At Penno 1979, Captain Britain, or if any other comic, Dan Dare. Do you know what Dan Dare is?
So definitely. I've got a couple ideas. I know they did Captain Britain and the Daredevils out of Marvel Britain. So I want to say it's definitely British comics, but I'm not too sure if that's the right one or not. And as you're looking, I do see Dan Dare, very much, the British sci-fi pilot. So yeah, there's those comics are near and dear to a whole continent worth of people. Why not? Definitely start with the expansion of Marvel Britain. Start bringing it to the screen.
At Danzer69, put Alpha Flight with a bunch of exclamation marks. At
Canadian market as well.
At Hav Gonzo Tweets, put out there the Great Lake Avengers. How would you feel about Great Lake Avengers? Like, it has to be a comedic show, right?
Yeah, it's definitely played that way. What was interesting though, because I recently read their first appearance, they actually genuinely care about being heroes. It's just people don't give them the chance. So that could be fun to do where it's like, yeah, it looks like it's comedy, but at the end of it, these heroes are like, we kind of wish people gave us a little bit more respect. The Rodney Dangerfields of the Avengers.
All right, folks, we're still going. We're still in the home stretch. It's a long episode, but we want everybody to make sure they're being heard. At IVRIONE, put Tigra or Angela. Both would be easy to slot into current universe as their respective larger affiliations. Avengers and Asgard, Guardians of the Galaxy, are always already present. Normally, I'm a big X fan, but most of the characters have shown up in one form or another already. Tigra. This is not the first Tiger that we've heard, so that's an interesting character, especially since we just saw Cheetah in the Wonder Woman 84.
Yeah, there you go.
And then Angela, who was created for Spawn Comics, if I'm not wrong, right?
Yeah. She originally appeared over in Spawn, created by Neil Gaiman. There was some creator rights issues. Long story short, Neil Gaiman managed to get the character back, and that would just kind of really stick it to Todd McFarlane if you saw her pop up. She was introduced. What's interesting, though, she was introduced in the Marvel Comics as the long-lost sister of Thor. So that'd be wild to see, because in the movies, they decided to play that as Hela. So I'd be curious to see if they did. I think Ivory One, if I'm saying that, if I'm picking it up correctly, I think, that'd be interesting to approach, but I'd probably say play it more to the Guardians of the Galaxy and have her be another, alien race that could be played in.
Yeah, have her show up in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. It would tie in all the things, so that would work. At Otherverse G, Since somebody already said Power Pack and Alpha Flight, how about the Exiles, a group of likable weirdos from different alternate realities, traveling through the multiverse, fixing temporal crisis, and having impossible adventures. Give me the, was it Blink and Sam Guthrie, a different version of Sam Guthrie?
I think that was Mimic, actually.
Oh, really? That's a Mimic.
Just made him more heroic looking. Yeah. That wouldn't be too bad. Like, definitely, I could say probably like season 2 or 3 of What If should definitely feature a couple of episodes with them. That way they come together and bounce around the multiverse of Marvel.
At Bodhisattva _H. Sorry, Bodhi. Submariner. Like we said, Namer's coming, so we can expect that. At Solaris Knight, Power Pack. And they went on Go Power Pack, but I think they'll make them the foster siblings to make them diverse. Just keep the redhead a redhead. If so, I'll still watch and hope they're done well, but I wouldn't mind if the Power siblings looks like the Power siblings. The Power Pack is an interesting book to me. It's an interesting family. There always seems to be more kids being added to that family, and they're younger. And it's all. I think the most I ever read of the Power Pack is when Julie Power became part of the Runaways. Is that right? No.
Something, yeah.
Kinda,
I haven't followed. Like, I don't know what it was. Just 4 of them, and then, like you said, it's like 19 and counting.
Yeah, exactly. She was a part of the Runaways because she was part of the Loners. That's right.
Okay,
that team in the East Coast or West Coast. Oh, okay. At Alpha Talking, once the Alpha Flight. Let me see. This is at 2 Cheesecakes and at 2 Retort. Both want Rom the Space Knight. I know nothing about Rom the Space Knight. So what can you tell me about that?
I don't know much. All I know is that character is going to be tough because of, I think somebody else outside of Marvel owns the rights. So you're better off probably going to the third-party publisher and hoping they bring you Rom the Space Knight.
At Ducky Dangerous wants Gambit. At Kaiser _Ken it has to be a character that hasn't been in the movie at all. An X-Men movie with Mr. Sinister as the lead villain. Yes, we got a little bit of Sinister in, I want to say, X-Men Apocalypse at the end when you see the Essence. Isn't that
Essex? Yeah,
Essex. That's right.
Corporation.
Yeah, Essex name on there. So there's that. At Fabian Pineapple wants Omega Red. Could you imagine Omega Red being on the big screen? Live action?
That'd be there's gonna be a lot of CGI on that one.
At DT2 Comics Chat, the Shi'ar Imperial Guard, and definitely the biggest one out of that would have to be the Gladiator. Sorry.
Yeah, that one I'd probably say give us that Starjammers show. Let them be the outlaws, and then have the Starjammers be, or not have the Imperial Guard be the group that has to chase them down and twiddle their mustaches and be like, "Damn you, Starjammers!"
At the Darth Vander Lant and at the Camper Dave both want Sleepwalker. Like, I've only read one book with Sleepwalker in it, and I'm all for it. It's an interesting character. It's definitely something that's different. So, I'm in.
There you go.
At Mars Sanj 47. I'm guessing because it's Martin Sanchez. Hasn't been in one yet. Okay, White Tiger, more specifically Angela Del Toro. And if they need help with it, I'll be glad to offer my assistance. We'll just use the 7-season-long pitch I did a while ago as a basis and make changes where necessary. 7 seasons long. Okay, you got it down, and I am all for that.
There you go. Yeah, no, White Tiger is a good character, and there's, like I said earlier, with the legacy, you could definitely play with that.
There's at Mosaic Comics also once Cindy Moon, so Silk. At Curious Curmudgeon with Q's, the entire Alpha Flight team. So once again with Alpha Flight, also Captain Britain, also Red Wolf, and at Michael Hyde, also once Sleepwalker, and at EILF Movies, once Gambit, since we haven't gotten one yet. I think we might have gotten all of them finally.
Yeah, Twitter is tough to navigate through, so I applaud you.
Okay, so now that that's everybody that we talked to, we still need to do our own team or our own thing. I'm going to second Alpha Flight. That was my big one. That's the one that I want to see. I was going to say Thunderbolts, but we've seen Thunderbolts. Or we haven't seen Thunderbolts, but we could see Thunderbolts. We have a lot of the players there now. So that's why I was very much into Alpha Flight. Maybe, they're kind of gun shy about doing X-Men right away. So why not give us the Canadian X-Men Avengers? And I went with the original team of Guardian/Vindicator James Hudson, North Star, also known as John Paul Bovary, Aurora Jean Marie Bovary, Sasquatch Walter Langowski, Shaman Michael Tuyungman, and Snowbird Narya. And I went as far as to cast them. Now, a lot of people might not know these names. There's not a lot of big names in here. However, Trevante Rhodes, I cast as James Hudson. He was in Moonlight and Bird Box. Those are the two biggest movies to him. For the longest time, I wanted him to play John Stewart of the Green Lantern Corps. I still think he would make a great John Stewart, but they are not talking about having him play John Stewart. So have him play James Hudson, essentially Captain Canada, but they already have a Captain Canada. So Canada's version of Captain America. John Paul Bovary, North Star, Francois Arnaud. If you watch the Borgias or Midnight Texas, he was the main star of that. Aurora would be played by Jessica Pear. I had her because of something that she was in and I loved, and I can't quite remember what it was what it is at the moment. So let me look it up. Oh, she was in Hot Tub Time Machine, Wicker Park, Mad Men, which you were a fan of Mad Men, right?
Oh yeah, I loved Mad Men.
Let me see who she played in Mad. I never watched it, but I feel like whatever she played in Mad Men would definitely have her be good for being Aurora, who's like uber sexy and stuff. She played Megan Calvert Draper for 43. So I'm guessing Draper's wife?
Yes, yeah, his second wife. Wow, good pick, because actually I think she was either French Canadian in the show, or she might be French Canadian in real life.
She is French Canadian in real life, so that's one of the reasons why I picked
her. There you go. Nice.
Sasquatch Walter Langowski. I picked Vikram Sahay. So definitely a venture away from the comic book character version of him. Instead of being a blonde white guy, he is a man of Indian descent. And you might remember him as one of the guys from Chuck, if you watch Chuck. But I think that character needs to be as comedic as it needs to, as the rest of it being adventure. So this guy being as funny as he is and being as small as he is makes it for being turning into Sasquatch that much better.
You're essentially making the Canadian Hank McCoy.
Yes, essentially. Shaman Michael Two Youngman, Michael Gray Eyes. He most recently was on episodes of Fear the Walking Dead, and he did an amazing job on that. So I am all for him playing Shaman. And since Shaman's in it, you have Snowbird, which is a huge character in the Alpha Flight. Have it played by Samantha Wynn. Samantha Wynn. I changed up the character's origin to being the half goddess or demigod, because she is the daughter of the Northern Lights god, or the goddess of the Northern Lights, and of Asian descent. So Samantha Wynn was in something that I watched recently or talked about recently. Sorry. Oh, she has been in Wonder Woman and Justice League. She played Ubia, I'm guessing one of the Amazons. She's been Katana in the Mortal Kombat Legacy series on YouTube. She was also in Man of Steel. She was the stunt double for one of the Kryptonians, I believe. And she also played Carvex in Man of Steel. That is I didn't do a Puck because I feel like everybody just wants Peter Dinklage to be Puck, and I think that's unfortunate that he's already been in the MCU as somebody.
That's true. He was Trask Boulevard Trask. So
he was in. Yeah, that's right. He's in the X-Men movies, and he's also in the Infinity War. That's
right. Thor. Yeah.
Yeah. So
the Warpsmith or something like that. Yeah.
All right. So that was my addition to the MCU. What's your addition to the MCU?
Okay. So now, mine may or may not be a cheat, but I'm going to satisfy my own entertainment because that's the best thing I can do. So I looked at it and I thought about it with my core group of characters, and Wonder Man is my top pick. Just because as a solo character, he doesn't do so well. He does way better as a team character. So with this being purely fun, I decided, you know what, let's do it. So I'm going to green light Wonder Man. Now we might get lucky because, and again, this is a stretch. This is why I love websites when they play with their bits and nuggets. So comicbook.com was like, the WandaVision showrunner Jack Schaefer might be addressing a possible Wonder Man appearance. And it comes down to the fact that the playlist asked, will Wonder Man be part of, what's up with the Wonder Man background image? Because if you watch the behind the scenes when they're talking with Schaefer, in her writer's room, there's a big picture of Wonder Man. And she's like, oh yeah, I was just standing in our writer's room, which is covered floor to ceiling in all sorts of art and inspiration. It's a pretty exciting room. And yeah, and that's all she said. So now everybody's running articles. So it's like, maybe we will, we probably won't. If James Gunn tried and it didn't happen, it's going to be rough. But in my pick, I would love to say, okay, let's take those seeds because the excitement's there. So let's build on that hype. I would stick with the casting of Nathan Fillion. He was originally going to play Simon Williams, who is the secret identity of Wonder Man. He originally started off as an engineer. Bad business led him to becoming a supervillain. Because he got powers from the Masters of Evil, and he was recruited to join the Avengers, infiltrate them, and destroy them from within. At the last moment, he had a change of heart, which led to him dying, but saving the Avengers. His brain patterns were then taken and given to the Vision by way of Ultron. And so that's how he kind of ties into that wacky family. And that's why he is being mentioned a lot for this show. He's had on again, off again relationships with Wanda herself. So he is kind of a homewrecker. And then at the same time, he's also the brother, quote unquote brother, as best as you can be with a synthezoid of the Vision. So I figured this would be fun because you could still bring the actor and actress over from WandaVision to come play over there, Paul Bettany and Elizabeth Olsen. The main thing I would love to do are some of the villains that I could also incorporate. So I would love to bring Wonder Man's brother, the Grim Reaper, which we've seen some Easter eggs in. I think it was episode 2 at the animated intro. You see his helmet. So I would have him come over, and I think just again in the pure enjoyment of it, I would love to have Alan Tudyk play Wonder Man Nathan Fillion's brother, because those two just have great chemistry together. They've worked with each other on several projects. So I think that would be fun to cast them as brothers. And this, I think, would be fun for Alan Tudyk as well, for him to flex some of his more dramatic acting instead of just always his comedy. So that could be fun as well. And then all throughout Marvel, in the comics and the shows, a lot of people are feeling like Mephisto will happen. So I want that to happen in my show. I want Mephisto to be screwing around with everything. And for some reason, I've got this gut feeling guess that Owen Wilson is going to be in the upcoming Loki show. Who will he be? Well, if you're going to have somebody going toe to toe with Loki, it makes sense that it should be Mephisto. So I think Owen Wilson will be playing Mephisto. So I would love to have that reveal happen in my show. And so I would start it off. The first arc would definitely be something like, All in the Family. We bring Wanda over and we see her, maybe with Vision being dead due to the Infinity War. Maybe she falls for Simon Williams, and then we find out that all these people have been manipulated because of Owen Wilson's Mephisto. So, wow, that gets to play out that way. And I think that'd be fun. There's a lot of character death there, just a lot to play with. They're characters that go beyond the science fiction of superheroics with their many deaths and resurrections. So I think that could be fun to play with that. And there's a great Wonder Man story. I forget what it's called, but it was a 4-issue arc that started, I think it was issue 21. 22. So issue 22 of the short-lived Wonder Man series, and it culminated issue 25, that kind of reveals Wonder Man's origins and some of the personal demons that he carries with his own shortcomings and his fantastic family of the Marvel Universe. So that would be what I'd bring to the big screen, or even smaller screen if I could.
I love I love that Simon Williams, Vision, and Victor Mancha essentially all have the same kind of origin, in the fact that they were supposed to join the Avengers and then eventually turn on them, which is also interesting because they're all kind of related, being as how Victor Mancha and Vision are all both created by Ultron, and Wonder Man, his brain patterns were used to create Vision. So it's all very, very much tied into each other. I like that.
Yeah, I think it plays well, and I think I forgot about that. I'm glad you brought up Victor Mancha. So that just proves Ultron's an idiot. It's like, hey, there was this guy who became bad, infiltrated the Avengers, and then betrayed the villains at the end. So let me use him as my brainwave for the character I'm gonna try to have and do the exact same thing. It's like, no, come on, Ultron, you're supposed to be smarter than that. And not only did he do it once, he did it again with Victor Mancha. Holy crap.
All right, folks, there it is, our very, very long episode. We hope you all enjoyed it. We hope you liked listening to all these different Marvel properties that could possibly show up in the MCU at some time soon. If you have anything you'd like to talk to me about, you can find me on Twitter. I am at Mitchipedia, GEM. GEM stands for Geek Elite Media. Chris, where can people find you online?
You can definitely find me on Twitter as well. I am Stuff I Should Say, should being spelled SHUD. Check out my writings on both geekelitemedia.com and AIPTcomics.com.
The rest of Geek Elite Media is at Geek Elite Media on Twitter, at Geek Elite Media on Instagram, and Facebook.com/Geek Elite Media is our Facebook page. Check out archived episodes of this podcast and other podcasts on our website, geekelitemedia.com. If you want to get more bonus material, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Geek Elite Media. You can get only exclusive things that are only exclusive to our patrons there. Whatever podcatcher you use to listen to this, rate and review us so that you can help spread the word of our network. But until next time, this is Imagine If on the Geek Elite Media Network, saying always remember to geek out.
Geek out.
This concludes our broadcast. Peace.